He's blue, he's fast, he gets the ladies. Everybody loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Except for Sonic fans, those guys hate Sonic. When I was a kid, I had the Sonic Classic Collection, which comes with all the original Sonic games, plus some pretty cool illustrations. Before that, though, we had the Sega 6-pack, which came with the first game, Sonic the Hedgehog. Whenever the classic Sonic games get bought up online, no one seems to mention Sonic 1 that much. In my opinion, the game doesn't get enough credit. It introduced so many key features to the series. First, you have Green Hill Zone. Now, most Sonic games start you off in a level with grass, ocean, and checkered rocks. There's very few Sonic games that do not have a level like this. I see some people complaining about how Sonic games reuse Green Hill Zone all the time, but to me that's a weird complaint because I don't see anybody complaining about this tree appearing in every single Kirby game known to man. Some people say that all the other songs in this game pale in comparison to Green Hill Zone, but I disagree. Marble Zone has a really good soundtrack. The whole level you're exploring these abandoned ruins, so they incorporate these lower notes to create a more spooky atmosphere. For my money though, Spring Garden Zone has the best song in the whole game. This started the trend of having a man-made level in each game. Casino Night Zone, Carnival Night Zone, Studiopolis, Pinball Carnival, none of these levels would be here without Spring Garden Zone. I remember when I was a kid, my dad found a cheat code that could take you to any level in the game. Most of the time I'd either go to Starlight Zone or Final Zone, the former probably being the most unique level in this whole game as it's something so unique that we've never seen replicated again. The bonus stages are also really fun. You get to move Sonic around these giant rotating levels. The background makes you feel like you're inside a kaleidoscope, and the music fits perfectly. Okay guys, time for a history lesson. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union came to Sega wanting them to create a new torture method that would render the victim mentally insane. After years of trial and error, they went to present the torture method to the Soviet Union, only to discover that the nation had disbanded months earlier. Deciding that they didn't want all their hard work to go to waste, the people at Sega said, just throw it in Sonic 2. I don't like Sonic 2 as much as I like the other classic Sonic games. It's not a bad game by any means, but I don't find myself playing it quite as much as I do the others. My favorite zone is definitely Hilltop Zone. It's such a left field idea that shouldn't work, but it does. I love Aquatic Ruin Zone too, but I don't know what Sega was thinking putting two water levels one after another. I also don't like Casino Night Zone as much as everyone else does. I'm not a big fan of these carnival-themed levels. Oil Ocean though, now that's an interesting level. It's a very unique take on a desert level. While there's no sand in the zone, the music makes it more than clear what type of level you're playing. What a lot of people forget about Sonic 2 is that it's actually the fourth game in the main series. Look at this, it's not even the first Sonic 2 game. The sixth classic Sonic game to come out is called Sonic CD. I remember barely anything about this game. I beat this game once at school on my tablet and that was it. I remember at the end of that school year, my friend was moving away, so he gave me all those old Pokemon cards and I got this really cool Sawsbuck card, and this girl in my homeroom saw it and said that she liked it. That's about the extent of my memories with Sonic CD. I like the levels they included in Sonic Mania, I like Amy, I like Metal Sonic, but what I really like is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Sonic 3, of course, being the 9th game in the series. This game is amazing. You've got Michael Jackson and his crew working on some of the songs. You have some of the most detailed backgrounds I've ever seen in a video game. In the first Sonic game, you need 50 rings to enter the special stage. In this game, they're scattered all across the level, just waiting for you to find them. This game was so big they had to put it on 2 whole cartridges. Look at that. You got to slap one on top of the other to play the whole thing. On top of all that, you can play as 3 different characters, each with their own abilities. Sonic is able to make this little force field around him. Knuckles can glide and climb up walls. He gets a slightly different ending. There are whole routes in the game that only Knuckles can go down. But what if you don't want to play Sonic 3? Then just pick Tails, who'll fly through the whole level for you so you don't have to play the game. When I was a kid, I could barely get past Hydrocity Zone and never got past Marble Garden Zone. But you know what? I don't care. These are 2 of the best Sonic levels ever made. Hydrocity Zone is this massive underwater city. When you start off, you're at the deepest part of the city, so naturally the background is darker. But then in the second act, when you start going up through the city, the background becomes brighter and more vibrant. Marble Garden Zone doesn't have as much distinction between the acts, but it's still a great level. It's similar to Sonic 1 in that you're exploring all the ruins, but it takes that idea and builds upon it. Ice Cap Zone and Mushroom Hill Zone are 2 more great levels. Ice Cap Zone starts you off snowboarding down this big mountain. Granted, it doesn't last long, but it's unique enough and engaging enough to stick out in your memory. If you play Mushroom Hill Zone as Sonic, you get this cool little cutscene of Knuckles hiding away one of the big rings. Then in the second stage, he changes the seasons up on you. It goes from spring to autumn, and then later on, you get to this winter part, all while you have this mellow music playing in the background. I think the music is part of what makes this game so good. Each level is accompanied by the perfect song to fully engross you in the game's atmosphere. Angel Island Zone, Hydrocity, Marble Garden, Carnival Night, Ice Cap Zone, Launch Base Zone, Mushroom Hill, Flying Battery, Sandopolis, Lava Reef Zone, Hidden Palace, Sky Sanctuary, Death Egg Zone. All of these levels are packed full of atmosphere, each one coming with a unique gimmick that gives it more personality. The songs are able to convey the mood of each level so perfectly. If there is such thing as a perfect 2D Sonic game, this is it. Or it would be if it wasn't for this stupid barrel part.